How about we break into the next part of the maintenance show where we discuss the EXs so far in Shadowbringers? How does that sound? All right, Gunji. When you think Titania, what do you think of?
Honestly, Titania is one of the few I haven't really done as much, like by comparison, because I have only done it 30 something times, in comparison to 100 times. But like, kind of, I can't talk about Titania without talking about Innocence, because they're the two fights at the beginning of the expansion, and
Okay.
so I have them on my tier list. I posted in hashtag general in the Discord.
Oh, you've
Which,
already laid yours out. I'm low and I'm running this slow. I'm slow rolling my tier list. I'm gonna nothing but suspense here.
I gotcha. There's C tier, but the reason why they're C tier and not like D is because they're acceptable. They're just passable, but I don't fault them for that. You know, a C is a respectable grade in my book.
Okay.
As a teacher, as an educator, I think C is respectable. It does the job. So Titania and Innocence, the first fights of the expansion are never amazing, but there's so much else going on at that time. Like, you gotta do the story, you gotta do the raids, the normal raids when they come out in a couple weeks, the Savage tier when it comes out a couple weeks later than that. So the you know, Titania, Innocence, they get the job done. I would say I like Titania mechanically more than Innocence, but it was never, you know, it's not too much of a challenge, but they're cool. They're cool story fights that have like a slight upgrade.
Okay. When I think Titania, real quick, I'm gonna break them up a little bit because I think of them a lot differently. I don't know. I don't loop them together because I farmed them at different times. I didn't actually farm them both at the same time.
That hysteria, the second time seeing it,
Yeah.
just as disappointing.
Okay. All right. Fuck off. So the one thing that I thought was really interesting about Titania was that the tether when she changes. Let's see. Let me do it. I'll go back. When you go outside this mechanic where you do the 6 tethers, I thought that was cool that you could cheese that with tank stuff. That's when I think this fight, I think of that mechanic, and I think of ad phase. And I think of the music because the music's a bop.
Yeah.
Last night I was in a Titania farm with, I can't say any names. I was in the Titania farm with people, and we were charging. Okay, so in ad phase, for those who don't know, you can actually skip the one hard mechanic in the fight where there's the knockbacks with the tethers if you do enough damage and kill the ads. So I always LB3 the ads. But we were doing so well and not taking any damage. So I had to have us take a little bit of damage so I get LB3 at that time. So what I did is I stole the tether on the last one and brought it into the group. That was my big brain play so that we had LB3.
That works. That's a good play.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. This mechanic's annoying, the tethers, but like that's in plenty of fights. It's whatever. You can actually gap close through that bramble, for those who don't know. I think Titania's fun. It's like once you learn the fight though, it's kind of brain dead as fuck.
Right.
And right now especially, it's like skippable. I think after we get our eye level up, we're gonna be able to kill it before ads, because I've seen it go down to like 10% before ads. So I'm gonna take Titania, and I'm gonna put Titania in B tier. I think it's like okay, well-rounded. It's, you know, leaves a little bit desired, but I like looking at it. I like hearing the music, and it's really, I don't know, it's kind of relaxing for me. It's a chill farm.
Oh, it's a great farm. Innocence too.
And you know, the mechanics kind of held up a little bit. You still have to do the mechanics right now, despite the fact that you super overgear it, which is a plus. See, with me and Innocence, I thought Innocence was really simple. It's kind of just like dodge mechanics, the fight, like dodge AoEs, the fight, except for this mechanic with these stars that blow up in the corners. And honestly, the only unique, well, okay, so you have the tether that you have to pull to the side. That's just annoying. I don't know. It's not a fun mechanic.
I don't like that mechanic.
Yeah. You've got the bow tie, where he does it on the side and it comes back in. It's always funny to watch people get baited by the bow tie, which let's see if I do it right now. I think I'm gonna get baited. Yeah, I got baited by the bow tie. That's fine. The CX is, yeah, it's very much, it's like tank same. If you could dodge a wrench, you could do the CX. The coolest mechanic in the CX, and I think it actually is really cool, is those stars. And there's a point where there's stars in all four corners. You have to aim a laser at one of the stars to blow it up. But you don't ever see that mechanic anymore. And honestly, even when we were of level, we were barely seeing that mechanic when I was farming it with fucking Party Finder. So basically, the coolest mechanic is too late. It's too late to fight.
It happens. This is my, I started in Heaven's Word, and every single expansion has these fights. Like the first two fights are, they do the job, but they're not the most amazing.
I actually like Innocence a good amount, just because I like going in Innocence to learn new jobs that I got to 80. It's like a really chill, low stress environment where you can just practice your rotation and you still have things to do. And for that alone, I'm putting it in A tier.
I get that.
That is the main reason. I think
I'm
it's
more
cool to look at, but
the fight.
Oh no, I'm judging it in every aspect. Hades.
So Hades is where the chaps began.
This is exactly,
really.
Yeah, it really is where I cut my teeth.
Yeah, Hades. I know you don't do it too often anymore because you like to be a pro with those exo flares, but I gotta have my caster uptime. So, but the safety too, awesome.
Oh,
amazing.
in the final,
yes,
thing. Yes. So for those of you, if you look right here, this 2, you see these markers. This 2 is a really weird marker out of place. There's actually a safe spot in Hades where you can dodge all of the exo flares at the end by standing in the direct center of that 2. It's like a weird magic pixel. I am too cool for that. I do the mechanic anyways most of the time. Because I can still keep my uptime. Life. Yeah, melee you can keep your uptime. Because I don't know, I think it's fucking lame. But it's gotten me a lot of clears, so shout outs to the safety too.
Right, safety 2 is great.
So as far as Innocence is like, I liked Innocence, but it's really long, and if you have bad tanks, if you have tanks that don't know the mechanics, you're just kind of screwed.
You mean Hades?
Did I say, which one did I say?
Clarify. You said Innocence.
Oh yeah, sorry. I meant Hades. We're talking about Hades. I think not necessarily bad, or just like tanks that don't know the mechanics, like there's like insta-wipe mechanics because of tanks.
Also DPS. Really everything but healers.
DPS have like one thing where they can't hit the tanks with the tether at the beginning.
Yeah.
But tanks, every phase has shit that tanks could wipe everyone with.
Right. It's true.
And as someone who tanked this fight, it was really nice knowing that I could be the issue, you know? I could be the one to ruin everything. Anyways, so long fight, but you got 2 totems from it. Honestly, the music's a fucking bop.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a lot to do as a tank, so I enjoyed Hades, but it was like I said earlier, it's a really long fight. And you know, I could flex how good I am at mashing at people, because I'm the fastest masher that exists. Okay, I'm gonna put Hades at A tier next to Innocence. Honestly, I would put Hades. So Hades A tier for me.
I agree. Yeah, Hades was my A tier also. You know, not a perfect fight, but just got a lot of fond memories of it. Solid fight too. It's got a challenge to it. It ramps it up from Innocence to Titania for sure.
Yes. Do we? Okay, I don't have any footage from Memoria. Just want to throw that out there. I have no footage from Memoria.
Memoria. I don't have a lot to say about Memoria.
I also don't have a lot to say about Memoria. Here, this is what I've got to say about Memoria, everybody.
But,
do we need to get into Memoria? Okay, the Latin names and the random. Random plus Latin names equals bad time.
Okay, so here's the issue with Memoria. The mechanics are somewhat challenging, but only in like memorizing the names and the order of mechanics. So like in the first phase, it's pretty simple. You do have to memorize essentially the Latin or the colors, and that's fine. Other than that, like the tells aren't super memorable, so I feel like I don't remember them that easily. I have a notepad for certain fights, mostly Savage.
Correct.
I don't do it for EX, but I have to have that for Memoria. Otherwise, I will not remember the order the mechanics come in.
Yeah.
And there's other than that, there's not like the tells are fine. It's just like the wind up is not distinctive enough for it to like
yes. Some of the mechanics don't even look like they look like I can't tell what he's doing.
Right. And the first phase is okay. It's pretty, once you have it, it's pretty boring. But then the second, well, there's the ad phase, that's fine, or like you break the shield. But the third phase is the 3 random patterns that are a series of mechanics. And then it's like the process of memorizing those.
Yes.
With just the same stuff from the first phase.
Also, all of the names are the same but different because they're just Latin words.
Right.
I did enjoy that you got the dyeable gear. That was cool.
That was cool. That instead of doing Eureka, I'd rather do Memoria
True.
than Eureka
Exactly.
for it.
So that's a plus. That's why it's not its own F tier below D.
Right.
We're going to talk about beef tacos. All right, Ruby Weapon, here's the notes I have written down. You know what? I'll leak my entire show notes just to prove. I put cut and run in all caps, and I put phase 2 bad tanks equals bad time. 2 phases is cool. I don't know anything about the lore of Nail, honestly.
A little break. I barely know it. I joined in Heaven's Word, so I have never really done. I think I just beat T9 kind of recently, and people were shocked about it. Like I didn't even realize it was my first time beating it until I got the cutscene. But
damn,
I thought I had done it before. But I vaguely know about it, and it's cool. The concept of all of these like FF7 weapons in the Final Fantasy XIV universe is really cool. Like I thought that Sapphire weapon, not an EX fight, was really awesome. But can I say real quick, mechanically, I think it's fine. I like it.
Fine.
I hate PF.
Yes.
I hate PF.
Exactly. This fight.
Without PF, I think it's fun.
This fight is fun with people who are willing to do fun strategies. It's a lot less fun, and I know the damage is like, honestly, the DPS check, it doesn't matter. But if you're in a no rotate party and you're playing melee, it's like the saddest shit, and it's so easy to rotate.
It is.
It's like that was a really big annoyance for me in this fight is the no rotate PF strat. because no one, I mean, honestly, it got to the point where people didn't even know what no rotate meant. And I'm not even joking, because Gunji, you've been in those parties. You've been in those parties where I'll make a party and it'll be a rotate party, and then people won't even know why they did no rotate. And then I'd explain it and they'd be like, oh, why didn't everyone just do this? It's like easy. You just move a little bit to the side.
And people don't have downtime then.
Yeah. And everyone has smiles. That's annoying. Also, cut and run sucks if you play melee. And if you don't know, then if you've never felt the pain of not being given enough space on cut and run as a melee, yeah, it's a thing. I got to the point where I just invulned it. I literally, because of cut and run, I switched to tanking this fight, and I just invulned cut and run. You can see me do it right now. See, the mechanic comes out. I just bull-eyed right here. Then I can stay, just keep hitting the boss and run and not worry about it. I'm just not sick of the fight somehow after 100-something clears. Right. 120-something.
Hades I'm a little sick of, but it's just like all of the instant deaths on Hades.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put this fight. I mean, I've said a lot of nice things about it. It is fun. It's good. But the PF for it and the fact that you're not going to find those fun parties is enough for me to put it in B tier instead of A tier. I'll put it a cut above Titania, though. To Warrior of Light EX. The most recent and final.
Oh my goodness, Ken.
You see, I remember this specifically. I don't know, someone said something sassy to me in Discord, so I was specifically waiting like an extra 20 seconds to click confirm. I was being a real petty bitch. Okay. So my thing about this fight, super fun, has interesting mechanics.
Absolutely.
Very,
it's really cool.
Very fun, interesting mechanics. Has a fun ad phase.
Right, yep.
You know, and I'm a sucker for a fight that makes you tank LB3. It's just something about it. I get the anime tingles every time.
Not a tank, but I agree.
Yeah. I DPS this fight almost exclusively, but I get the you know that anime protagonist feeling when I see when we LB3 the big attack.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I fucking love it, dude.
This is a great fight overall. Just like the tells are like it kind of follows in that Memoria situation with the like random mechanics in the last phase. But the tells are so much better, so it makes it a lot more memorable. I never had to write anything down for this fight because it was just like remember what each LB was.
It also just makes sense. It's the complete opposite of Memoria, where Memoria, it's like a bunch of Latin words, and that means he's gonna do a spin. You gotta get out. You gotta spread for explosions. You gotta get in. You know what I mean? Like, nothing told me that's what this is. But in this fight, everything is very clear.
Makes a lot of sense once you see it once. You know exactly how you have to handle the mechanic. Well, I mean, there's also, I would say there's rephrasing that. You know how to dodge things, but maybe not how best to deal with the mechanic. But this fight is cool because there's different strategies to how to handle things. I don't run this too often just because I've only learned uptime strats and I'm afraid to do anything else. But But there are a lot of ways to tackle the mechanics, and unlike rotate versus rotate, that's not a different way of handling the mechanic.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a lazy way.
But you know, you could have the tanks take the tethers. I think I don't know exactly how it works. You can have range,
the ad phase. So this is how. If anyone's familiar with uptime ads. We progged and farmed this fight as a group with uptime ads, which is not the PF strat. The PF strat is kind of wild. It's kind of downtimey for ads, but it doesn't, I don't know. It's fine. It doesn't feel as shitty as some other downtime strats to me, because we're still at least resolving a mechanic.
Right. And it's a little bit shorter too. Like no rotate just feels like it's not no hate to anyone who likes no rotate, because I feel like I'm just ganging up on no rotate, but
Yo, fuck no rotate. What are you talking about?
No rotate just kind of feels like the whole time you're losing downtime, you're just like, it could be better.
I'm also a little biased here because I just think it's more fun. I think for whatever reason this downtime strat's more fun than the other downtime strats, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is.
You do the mechanic.
That being said, the uptime ads on this fight, it feels so good. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's good. We also don't do the corners. We go to cardinals. It's a little bit dicier for healing. Always fun. I do like healing.
Yes. Yeah, I think I've been in every single possible position in this fight. Yeah, I have. Because I've done it in PF and in our group. And I've done it in multiple different roles. In different... Like, I did caster, I've done tank, I've done melee.
Gotcha, cool.
So I've kind of done every spot, and it gets really confusing when you go from a cardinal group to an intercard group, and you're like, where the fuck do I go? And then the ad phase changed. It can get confusing. But I want to move on to my favorite mechanic. No, my favorite mechanic in this fight.
Ninja?
No. Quint.
Oh, okay. Oh, Quint. I do like Quint.
Quint. So when he does his elements, when he does quintuple cast, he does like 5 mechanics back to back. So satisfying to do for whatever reason. It's just like it's like you play. It's like playing whatchamacallit? What's that game? Why can't I think of it?
Like Simon Says.
Simon Says, yeah. Simon Says, or like playing a bop it, or like
Bop it, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to remember that it's bop it, pull it, twist it, bop it, twist it. I don't know. What is there on a bop it other than bop it, pull it, and twist it?
I don't know, but this one is stack, cardinals, look away, keep moving, stay still.
Yes.
And in random order. I think Ninja, even though it's easy, something about it's kind of satisfying.
Oh yeah, Ninja, because you do the knockback mitigation.
Right.
I
like the LB being charged and then having to do the next mechanic and then remembering which LB it was at the beginning. That's fun.
There's also, let me skip to the mechanic now that I'm thinking about it.
Are there any downsides?
Swords of Revealing Light.
Yes, Swords of Revealing Light.
I don't have a great, I'm dead on this one, but this is a real fun mechanic. I think it's brain dead easy to resolve. There's like, for whatever reason, there's like so many different patterns and everyone's like was like nerding out over the patterns, but there's like a brain dead easy way of figuring it out where you just look at the wall, see where he doesn't draw on the wall. That's what I always use. It doesn't really let me down. I just thought it was really funny when this fight came out and people were like, you have to memorize 40 patterns.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, imagine.
Are you gonna? As a healer, I'm looking at your health and I'm like, oh, are you gonna get healed in time?
Oh, of course.
I know I am healing this fight.
Yeah,
so
you just look.
On me.
Yeah, you just look at the walls, in your Gucci mama. I don't think that's a secret anymore, though. I think everyone knows that.
I think everybody did know that, but I think people were trying to figure it out so that they could react faster. Because sometimes it's a little tough to tell immediately. You might, but I think you can react to it pretty late and still have enough time to run over there.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad, but I understand trying to learn the mechanics, like the patterns for the reaction time.
This all being said, where did you put it in your list?
Oh, it's an S rank.
It's an S rank. I don't think you're gonna get any. I don't know anyone a sensible human
Is not gonna put it below.
is not gonna put it below any of these others. I mean, S. You could have maybe put it in A, but that means everything else is in B or lower.
It's one of the best EXs in the game. I would say, for me, the only fight that tops it is Shinryu, and that's because it has like a similar mechanical complexity, but also has like the hype
Yeah.
of the the dragon running on the tail and everything. Like that fight is so cool, and this doesn't have that, but there is a lot of hype, especially in the story of 5.3 here. A lot of emotions in this fight. It's good. It's good fight.
All right. So that is my final tier list.
You got it. You've got
This
time.
is my final tier list. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I wanted to I'm happy that there was a separation here. With Memoria being all the way down here. Cuz
I
yeah.
had the exact same thing. I just had Titania and Innocence in C.
Here, let me pull yours up.
Everything else was exactly the same.
Let me see. Where is Gunji's? Okay. So here's mine and here's Gunji's. So you put all right, you got them down there.
Yep.
Ruby, Hades. Yes. Yeah. I personally like, a fair bit just because it's useful for learning jobs in my opinion.
I was judging it off of the fight, but while there's C's, I enjoy running those fights. I just
Yeah.
analyzing the fight in itself. I would
That's
say
fair.
it's C.